Hey guys, and welcome back to Swami Studios. I'm your host, Juan Swami. Today I'm bringing you guys the final installment of the Houston Oilers franchise. We're going to sim 5 years ahead to give a whole 10-year picture of this Houston Oilers team. But before we get into that, please vote on what you thought about this franchise. This is kind of an exit poll type thing. I want to get your ideas going forward, so you can leave those in the comment section. But I want you to let me know what you thought of this franchise. I know that it wasn't, I thought it was a really great franchise as a whole. I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty realistic for most of it. And I think that entertainment value was pretty good in it. I didn't win multiple Super Bowls. I didn't go 16-0. I didn't do a lot of things that could turn that off or could make it more exciting. But either way, let me know what you thought about the Houston Oilers franchise. And with this poll, and then make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below on a little bit more detailed form about what you liked, disliked, things like that. Because I want this information so I can move forward into my 49ers franchise, pick and choose what I think works, take all of your criticism, put it into a whole, and I can shape my future series with it. That's what I want to do. So let's get into the Houston Oilers franchise final episode. So there you have it. The final game in the Houston Oilers franchise goes down like this. Final score 10-7. The Chiefs defeat them. I completed my season's win goal, and they extended me for 5 years, even though I'm not going to be coming back. So let's take a look at the team, the player overalls, and then we'll get to all that jazz. So we start off with quarterback. Beau Cobb progressed up to a 90 before prior to the playoffs. He was already injured, so I just did the auto progress for him, and he got up to a 90 overall based on some deep throw, some mid accuracy and stuff. But you want to know how good Konrad Blake is? Here he is. 57 overall. 91 throw power, 77 short, 76 mid, 66 deep, 40 awareness, 71 speed. That's your quarterback, guys. That's the guy who almost took us to the Super Bowl after Beau got hurt. There's Robert Turbin, Sheldon Herrick, Patrick Florence, Frankie Bynes up to a 94, DeAndre Hopkins and Taquan Ford both sitting at 90. Paris Glass, 85. Kendall Wright, 81. Jerry Rice Jr., 71. Gavin, 86. Will Finch, 77. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, 76. Jonathan Foreman, 66. The O-line didn't play up to its overall. Taylor Lewan, 95. Jared Neely, 94. They did in the run game. Unger, 85. Warmack, 97. Quinn Graham, 92. Dylan Joyner, 85. Akeem Ayers, 92. Cam Lane, 79. Jesse Aiken, 79. Terrell Casey and Hankins, 95 and 91. Benjamin Fairley, 87. Nelson Boenzi, 99, of course. Avery Williamson, 99, of course. Carl Coley, 79. Russ Dawkins, 95. Will Bostic, 89. J.J. Crawford, 84. Emerson, 76. Darian Black, 68. Eric Reed up to a 99, Barkley 78. Ethan Freeman up to a 90, Ron Parker 80. Agiumana 84, and Ronnie McRoy 99. Beau Cobb put up some good numbers. 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 39 sacks in 14 games. He turned it around. He had a pretty good year. Robert Turbin, 370 carries, 1,972 yards. Sheldon Herrick, 80 for 499. Patrick Florence, 24 for 103. Taquan Ford, 66 receptions, 940 yards. Paris Glass, Hopkins, Escobar, Kendall Wright, etc. Blocking, Jared Neely, Quinn Graham, Taylor Lewan, Warmack. Everyone pretty much gave up their fair number of sacks. On defense, Nelson Boenzi, 111 tackles, 25 tackles for a loss. Akeem Ayers and Terrell Casey. Casey ended with 20 sacks. That's incredible. Benjamin Fairley still has yet to register a sack. but another 9 tackles for a loss. Ethan Freeman, 11 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks. Really good season out of them. Interceptions, Will Bostic, 4. Crawford, 3. Reed, 2. Bowenzi, Williamson, both 1. Forced fumbles, so pass deflections first. Russ Dawkins had 9. Will Bostic had 11. Forced fumbles, Avery Williamson and Akeem Ayers both had 4. Recoveries, that goes to one of each of many players. No safeties, a few defensive touchdowns, 2 by Will Bostic. Darian Black had his. They performed pretty well. Let's keep it moving. Kicking, Agi Umana finished the season 29 for 31. Pretty good year. Ronnie McRoy, 67 punts. Net average 42. 26 inside the 20, 14 touchbacks. Not his best year. Matthew Stafford, Blake Bortles, who ended up winning MVP. Rodgers, Glennon, Barkley, Drew Brees right here broke all the records. We'll see if he made the Super Bowl. Everett Slater, Johnny Manziel, Andrew Luck, 15 touchdowns, 25 picks. Disgusting. Tyrod Taylor, 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 picks. Did not make the playoffs. And then we have Sterlin, 2,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 15 picks, and only 10 games played. Just couldn't stay healthy. Rushing yards, big lead for Robert Turbin. Trevor Barber, 17 touchdowns on the season, led the NFL. And Christine Michael right there. So both of Marshawn Lynch's backups putting in some huge work. And then Marshawn Lynch was on this list. There he is. Not bad. Calvin Johnson leading the league in receptions. In terms of yards, it's Calvin, Green, Kelvin, Julio, D. Thomas, Cruz, Thomas Bell, Tate, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks. In terms of touchdowns, Golden Tate, Demaryius Thomas, Bolden, Cruz, Cooks, Quick. Most sacks allowed probably goes to like Greg Robinson. Yeah, there we go. 27 sacks allowed. He's still starting. I don't know how. Total tackles, Chris Borland came out of retirement, like I said. He's been putting in work. Nelson Mulenzi led the league in tackles for a loss. Sacks, Von Miller technically did, even though it was Akeem Ayers at 27, and then Jarrell Casey. Interceptions, Logan Ryan, Glover Quinn, Dante Witzner, Aqib Talib, Sean Smith, Chris Harris, Pat Pete. A lot of good names up here. Forced fumbles, Avery Williamson leading the charge. Recoveries, Cartavius Bailey. Safeties, no safeties this year. Few block kicks. Koa Misi getting in on the block kick parade. And defensive touchdowns, Klon Small. Okay. They lost to the team that won the Super Bowl. Was it Hooper Priester who led them? It was. Look at Hooper putting on a performance, 84%. They put up a fight, Kaepernick did. But Hooper, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Keenan Allen going off. Femi Talbot. Congratulations, Andre. You got your break because you were a whiz with personnel, but in your 4 years, you never quite reached the level of success that was expected. You were great at acquiring the pieces, but to be an all-time great coach, you need to know what to do with the pieces when you get them. Truer words have not been spoken. Coach Andre Russu ends his career at 45-23 in the regular season, 2-2 in the postseason. And just like that, an era was over. Ronnie McRoy went to play with the Falcons. Jarrell Casey went to play with the Bengals. Ethan Freeman left to go play with the Rams. Frankie Bynes went to the Vikings. Beau Cobb had a really good season. Only 6 sacks. In terms of their record, they went a whopping 14-2 yet again. Robert Turbin, another 1,300 yards on the ground. DeAndre Hopkins led the team with 1,100 yards. Daquan Ford was good, Paris Glass wasn't. He took a back seat as Kendall Wright jumped up to 84 receptions on the season. Blocking, the team was perfect. They didn't give up much. And Taylor Lewan, who only played 9 games, didn't give up anything. Defensively, Sean Witherspoon and Nelson Bowenzi went to town. It seems, though, that Witherspoon got a bit more tackles. In terms of those tackles for a loss, Avery Williamson led the team. Benjamin Fairley finally got his sacks, though. Keem Ayers only got 6 sacks on the season. Quite disappointing. J.J. Crawford got 4 sacks, Bostic got 4 interceptions, Bostic got 4, Reed got 3, Dawkins got 3, and Wesley Kendricks got 2, in replacement of Ethan Freeman. Jarrell ended with 17 tackles, 6 for a loss, and 3 sacks. He ended up with 122 tackles, 3 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Not too bad for the 5th round pick, who really didn't have much of a future coming into this league. Let's sim the playoffs, and Beau Cobb actually won the MVP. Who made the Super Bowl? Is it the Oilers this time around? No, it's not. The Oilers lost to the Patriots in the divisional round. That's too bad. When all is said and done, the Patriots dominate the sports world again, defeating the Philadelphia Eagles 35-20. Despite making the biggest splash in free agency, Gavin Escobar leaves to go to the Jaguars. Robert Mathis and Geno Atkins come along to the Oilers, but Sterlin King finally left the Chargers, who are now the Dreadnoughts. He wasn't re-signed. He was brought in by the Seahawks, and he led them to a 12-4 record. Could this be the turnaround for a guy who just could not find a place to be? We'll see. He had a pretty good season over there in Seattle. Played 14 games, 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, but he still can't stay healthy. Something about him. The Oilers went 11-3. They didn't secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but they did pretty darn well. Beau Cobb had another remarkable season, posting almost 4,000 yards. Jacquizz Rodgers and Robert Turbin split time with Kadeem Carey. Looking at wide receivers, DeAndre Hopkins, Taquan Ford, and Paris Glass put up some pretty good numbers. Doesn't look like they brought back Kendall Wright for whatever reason. Will Finch also did pretty well as their leading tight end. In the blocking game, well, pretty good still. Jared Neely, Dylan Joyner, Chance Warmack, Taylor Lewan, they're all together still. Max Unger doesn't look like he's still around, however. And on defense, Nelson Bowenzi continues to put up great numbers. 100 tackles, only 3 for a loss. But that's what happens when you switch back to a 3-4. Sacks leaders, Williamson and Fairley. Geno Atkins got in on his. And interceptions, Eric Reed led with 5. Calic Bell, the rookie, 3 interceptions. Russ Dawkins, 3. J.J. Crawford, 3. Will Bostic, 3. Great cornerback core they have. As we advance to the Super Bowl, we'll see if the Oilers finally could get it done. And the answer? That answer is no. Another crushing defeat to the Chiefs in the conference finals yet again. That would be something. And the answer is no. The Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, gets his 2nd Super Bowl of the franchise with not a bad performance. How they score their touchdowns, though, it looks like it's all Eddie Lacy on that department. The Oilers wanted to keep around their core, and they re-signed Jared Neely, Taquan Ford, franchise tag Quinn Graham, re-signed Russ Dawkins, and then end up re-signing Quinn Graham, and re-signing Benjamin Fairley long-term. The Oilers and the Seahawks both made the playoffs, led by Beau Cobb and Sterlin King. The Chiefs went 15-1. They caused some massive havoc in the NFL as Zach Dicer led the Dreadnoughts to a 2-14 record. Sterlin King, 4,200 yards, 36 touchdowns to 17 picks in his first full 16-game season of his career. Looking at the Oilers, Beau Cobb, 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 17 picks. Kadeem Carey led the team in carries. As seems like Robert Turbin's not even there anymore. That's too bad. DeAndre Hopkins ended the season with 1,500 yards. Taquan Ford with 1,300. Pretty darn good. Taking a look at their blocking. Not bad at all. Defensively, Eric Reed led the team in tackles, followed by Nelson Bowenzi. Avery Williamson with 16 tackles for a loss. Team leader in sacks is Williamson along with Geno Atkins and Jermarcus Doyle. Branton Redmond led the team in interceptions. Does that mean that Will Bostic? No, Will Bostic's there. Robert Turbin might not be on the Oilers anymore, but he went back to his original team, the Seattle Seahawks. And in 2021, had 274 carries for 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns. Attaboy. The heartbreak of not making a Super Bowl finally ends in the year 2021, where the Oilers just narrowly beat the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that has been the eternal thorn in their side. Beau Cobb comes out 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Quiz Rogers and Kadeem Carey, they did their part. Taquan Ford, Will Finch got 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Nelson Bowenzi leading the team as always. Can they finally get their Super Bowl in the year 2021? Did they do it? Did the Houston Oilers do it? The answer is no. All the contracts finally caught up with Houston, as DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Crawford, Paris Glass all hit free agency. And actually don't go signed based on the amount of money that they want because they're so good. Most teams don't expect that to happen. It took a few years, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not sign them. I promise I did not sign them. I didn't want them. I'm not even playing with this team. I don't care. Robert Turbin ended up on the Dreadnoughts. Paris Glass and DeAndre Hopkins ended up on the Dreadnoughts. Yeah, this is weird. Who else? Logan Ryan, J.J. Crawford, Xavier Rhodes. I didn't sign any of these people. I don't know how they got here. Akeem Ayers. Like, what? And it took all of that, and they finally made the playoffs. It took them so long to make the playoffs, but they finally did it. And the Oilers went 14-2. I have to imagine Beau Cobb had a little bit less year. 3,459 yards, 29 touchdowns, 10 picks. The running game of Knile Davis, who was brought back. Lake Reedy, Bernard Pierce, very different looking team. Taquan Ford, Ivory Griffin, Brian Quick, Will Finch out there. Taquan Ford's still one of the best in the business. And then you go over to defense, Nelson Bowenzi still doing Nelson Bowenzi things. Eric Reed looking great. Geno Atkins looking really solid. Avery Williamson being just a beast. Will Bostic with 6 picks. Russ Dawkins with 4. Watch the Dreadnoughts beat them. Oh, that would have been insane, right? Just have the team like the Dreadnoughts just come in, pick up all the Oilers players and do that. The Oilers didn't make the Super Bowl anyway. They lost to the Chiefs again. They lost in the wild card game. It's 27-6. Ouch. Robert Turbin was 4th in the league in rushing yards, by the way. Schedule league. The Chiefs dominated the Super Bowl. They're a damn good team. The Oilers maintained Eric Reed and Will Bostic to keep on going. Beau Cobb wins the MVP yet again, and the Oilers make the Super Bowl and take on the New Orleans Saints and fall short again. Fall short in overtime. An overtime loss for the Oilers. Beau Cobb had another good game, and he won the MVP this year. Just wasn't good enough. They can't seem to get over the hump. They're 0-2 in the Super Bowl and just can't seem to put it all together when they need to. T.Y. Hilton, Brandon Cooks had good games. Taquan Ford, 9 for 166. And Nelson Bowenzi doing Nelson Bowenzi things. Unfortunately, though, this was the end of Akeem Ayers and Robert Turbin's careers. They both decide to retire along with Corey Liuget. And in the 2023 offseason, Avery Williamson, Taylor Lewan, Calic Bell, and Will Finch all decide to re-sign. Not half bad. Cam Lane ends up signing with the Dreadnoughts. And in terms of other big-name guys, that's really it. No one from the Oilers went anywhere. Geno Atkins went to the Jets. That's something from them. But aside from that, that seems like that's pretty much everybody. We're going to go 2 more years on this. The Oilers slightly wavered and went 12-4 this year, as the Seahawks went 13-3. The Dreadnoughts, if you cared, went 1-15. They're really bad. Taking a look at the Oilers, Lakeem Stewart might have been their starting running back. Beau Cobb, 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Not as good. Stephen Bailey did well. Taquan Ford did really well, as did Brent Greenwood. Will Finch had another really good season. Defensively, Nelson Bowenzi did what Nelson Bowenzi does best. 6 interceptions, 2 sacks, 100 tackles. Avery Williamson, 15 tackles for a loss, 7 sacks. Benjamin Fairley, 60 tackles, 5 sacks. Interceptions, Brandon Redmond, Russ Dawkins. Nelson Bowenzi is going into his 10th season. This is his 10th season. That's incredible. Another good season, 4,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, 11 picks. My God, they just can't do it. Did they do it this time? They didn't even make it to the division. They lost in the divisional round to the Steelers, who made it. And Sterlin King has a chance to get a Super Bowl before anyone on the Oilers does. Now, wouldn't that be just a kick in the groin? Question. Did Sterlin King get it before the Houston Oilers did? Did he win the Super Bowl? The answer is no. Sterling King and the Seahawks got slaughtered by the Steelers. Nelson Bowenzi and Taylor Lewan get locked up long term, and they suffer no retirements. Not bad. Some notables who retired: Sheldon Herrick, Kendall Wright, Adrian Peterson. Just a few. Tyrod Taylor. And Will Bostic signs with the Ravens. Sean McCoy signs with the Bengals, and Logan Ryan with the Texans as well. The Oilers go 16-0. 16-0. 16-0. Beau Cobb, 4,100 yards, 39 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I think that's his 3rd MVP. Lakeem Stewart, I told you, they found their running back. 297 carries, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. Taquan Ford, 16 touchdowns. Sean Hayes, Will Finch having a good year. Chance Warmack, one of the best in the business. Nelson Bowenzi, 132 tackles. 7 picks. 7 interceptions. Russ Dawkins had 2 sacks. Avery Williamson, not a great year. Brody Snow with 7 sacks, leading the team. Early awards: Beau Cobb is your MVP, and Coach of the Year is Jack Kerrigan. All right. Super Bowl. Did the Oilers do it, or did they lose their first game in the playoffs? Can they be the first 19-0 team? They got smoked by the Ravens. Was it the Steelers? Was it the Niners? And it was the 49ers. Please be in overtime. It was an OT. That's awesome. How long an OT? Not bad. At the time that we call it a career, Beau Cobb, 31,696 yards, 250 touchdowns to 85 interceptions, 93 sacks. He has 8 more sacks than he does interceptions thrown. That's insane. 71 completion percentage. He's been unbelievable. Taquan Ford, 82 touchdowns, 10,000 yards. Dude's a beast. Eric Reed, 1,083 tackles, Nelson Bowenzi, 1,075 tackles in 2 less seasons, 31 career interceptions. He's a Hall of Famer without a doubt. 29 career sacks, 97 tackles for a loss. How many forced fumbles for these two fellas? 20 for Williamson. That's insane. Kicking-wise, Agiumana, 313 for 354. And let's just look. Let's take a look at some of these guys in terms of career perspectives at the time that we end this. So Luke Kuechly, unbelievable. Sacks, Junior Glad, 157. Oof. Interceptions, Chris Harris Jr., 77 for his career. I don't know how close he is to the career mark, but it has to be pretty close. Eric Reed is up there. Actually, let's look at those forced fumbles. Leader is Avery Williamson. That's awesome. Receiving. Who's the leader in receiving yards? We'll get to that. As you can see, a lot of guys up there. DeAndre Hopkins is up there. Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Martavis Bryant. Daquan Ford, 775 career receptions. Touchdowns, just getting up there. He'll get there. He's only played, he only has 9 years experience. He's in a great position right now. In terms of running backs, Le'Veon Bell is up there. Passing yards, Russell Wilson, 53,000 yards. Mike Glennon, 48,000. Manziel, 46. Barkley, 43. Sterlin King, 35. Tarpley, Beau Cobb. Beau Cobb is just unbelievable, man. He's 6th in touchdowns, and he's well lower in interceptions. I mean, guys who are playing many less years than him are there. Anyone who's played with his amount of experience is well higher. That's insane. Let's take a look at those NFL records, and then we'll call it a season, a career mode. And I'll show you the coach who succeeded him. So Aaron Rodgers never did get past Drew Brees. Not bad. Rodgers did overtake him in touchdown passes, however. Rushing yards, Adrian Peterson up there, LaShawn McCoy up there. I don't know if LaShawn McCoy is still playing, but I know AP retired. Rushing touchdowns, Le'Veon Bell more than has taken that one, and he's still going. Receiving yards, that's Calvin. Demaryius Thomas is right behind him, as well as Julio Jones. Receiving touchdowns, D. Thomas is the closest. Still has some time left. I don't think he'll pass him, though. Career catches, Calvin ends with 1,700 career catches. Mario Williams retires 3rd on the all-time list. DeMarcus Ware 4th. Junior Galette's right there. He's coming close, as is Von Miller. Interceptions. Richard Sherman ends with the most career interceptions for his career. I guess he retired at some point. Chris Harris Jr., not too far behind. Neither is Jarius Byrd or Earl Thomas. But these guys all passed. You know, Dick Lane and Todd Woodson, but it's pretty good. Let's take a look at in-season. Any records changing? Tarpley got up there. Lane got up there twice. No. Le'Veon Bell got onto the list. Might have knocked off Robert Turbin. Dreadnoughts? No, that's LT. Okay. Receiving yards in a single season? No. No single season records have been broken. T.Y. Hilton got close in receiving touchdowns with 19. No. Defensive sacks, Keem Ayers. That's a record. And nothing in that regard. And last but not least, the in-game records. Anything broken? I don't think so. Nothing I've seen so far that's gotten broken. Nope. Nothing. And now we'll just take a look at the coach stats. There he is, Jack Harrigan, 103-37 with 1 tie. He's 9-7 winning seasons. He's 6-7 in the playoffs. 0-2 in the Super Bowl. That's not good enough. And last but not least, we'll look at the legacy score to show who is the best ever. Head coaches, Andy Reid is still, he's not going anymore. Mike McCarthy is. Let's see. There we have Jarrett Kerrigan, but he hasn't gotten his own thing. Robert Kraft is number 1. Brady is the all-time legacy score leader, followed by Aaron Rodgers and Jerry Rice. Not bad. Now we'll take a look at by position. Adrian Peterson, best legacy for a running back. Le'Veon Bell, who's still going, might surpass him. We'll see. Bruce Miller, best for a fullback. Best for a wide receiver. There's Calvin behind Jerry Rice. He's not catching up with that. Looking down the list, we see our man, Taquan Ford, and DeAndre Hopkins. Both of them are there. Tight end, Jimmy Graham. Okay. Jimmy Graham is the guy. Gronk retired a few years back. Left tackle, Taylor Lewan is second. It's not bad. Left guard, Jared Neely is second. Center. Well, Pouncey takes that one. Right guard, oh wow, Fulton. Surpassing Chance Warmack. We'll see if Fulton can maintain that, but Chance Warmack, one of the best right guards in NFL history. And right tackle, it's a long ways away. Quinn Graham. Dylan Joyner could have a chance, but because of the fact that Taylor Lewan is on the opposite side, Quinn Graham is there. Left end, Terrell Suggs ends at second, behind the great Reggie White. And there's Terrell Casey on that list. I think he's still playing, too. No, he's done. Maybe. Dominican Sue, number 2. Marcel Darius, Dontari Poe. Jonathan Hankins is on there. J.J. Watt, Ezekiel Ansah. Left outside linebacker, Junior Gillette behind Justin Houston and Von Miller. Those guys are the tops by a lot. Jason Worlds up there. Benjamin Fairley, not as much. Middle linebacker. Well, Darrell Washington, number 1. Patrick Willis, both of them Hall of Famers. Luke Kuechly still going. Nelson Bowenzi. He's never been appreciated the way he should have been, but he's one of the best. Our outside linebacker, Avery Williamson's number 4, behind Levante David, Alden Smith, and of course Lawrence Taylor. Corner, it's Revis. Sherman, who actually he might be a free agent. No, he's just not in the Hall of Fame yet, or didn't get in at all. Joe Hayden. Desmond Trufant, Xavier Rhodes. Free safety. Not bad. Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson, Ed Reed, Earl Thomas, Jarius Byrd, Harrison Smith, Clinton Dix. Eric Reed's up there. And strong safety, Ronnie Lott, Berry. Ethan Freeman, the number 3 best strong safety in NFL history. Kicker, Dan Carpenter, then Justin Tucker, Blair Walsh, Greg Zuerlein, Augie Umana. And punter, there's only one, Ronnie McRoy. But Vega's getting up there. I hope you guys enjoyed the Houston Oilers franchise. This franchise was insanely fun for me to do. I enjoyed every second of it with you guys. To go this long, this is the 89th episode of the Houston Oilers franchise. We started this at the end of December. And as soon as I started my 49ers franchise, which won't be for a few weeks until everything gets patched up in the franchise mode for Madden 16, that's going full year, going all the way to Madden 17. This was a hell of a ride. You guys have been absolutely incredible with me this whole journey. So I hope you guys are prepared for Madden 16. I know I am. I'm going to make it unique. I'm going to make it fun. I already have a lot of things planned, and I have more time to plan now because of the fact that, well, it's not functioning at the moment. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said earlier, make sure to let me know what you think of this series in the comment section below. And make sure you vote in that straw poll. I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace, I'm out.